We hiked through ancient rice terraces.
Play the theme music. Hello and welcome to this episode of Tripology. I'm Alan and I'm here with the ever-cultivated Adam.
Like a genetically modified crop with no nutritional value.
Well, I'll come back to the concept of genetic modification and crops later in the episode because we're talking all about hiking through some of the most ancient rice paddy fields, terraces in the world as we continue our sojourn through the Philippines.
Yeah, we've just been on a little 2-day, 3-day jaunt, haven't we? A couple of crazy night buses. But we are currently back in Manila, a city that we are really enjoying.
Yeah, I enjoy it too. And it's become ever such a tripological hub. There's a lot of amazing things brewing, and Manila is very much becoming a new sort of Bethlehem for the rebirth of a tripological event, the likes of which the world has never seen. There's going to be all kinds of news coming over the next few months. You get ready, like one of the three wise men, you have the opportunity now to look at the tripological stars and be a part of a wonderful movement.
Yeah, it's all taken place in Manila. Manila, fair to say, got a bit of a bad rap in the backpacking scene.
Was it really? I
Yeah.
don't know anything about that. I'm ignorant of its rap.
Well, if you were to judge a place by your experiences in it, which we always do encourage people to do, it's been overwhelmingly positive.
I've been overwhelmed by positivity, absolutely. I can scarcely find time to go about my daily chores, brush my teeth, have a shower, do my ablutions, because I'm so busy being overwhelmed.
Yeah, I mean, I was back in 2015, I was in Manila, and I had heard that it was dangerous. And I guess that was not compounded, but certainly confirmed by the fact that I was walking through Rizal Park one afternoon,
Yeah.
somewhere that we've been together, and it felt almost
Positive reaction to
bland,
us.
if we're going to say no, I'm joking. But yeah, there was a group of guys there who were roughly the same age as I was back then, so early 20s, mid 20s, and they signalled to me from across the way that they were going to slit my throat, and one of them did sort of a gun sign where he was going to shoot me.
Once you've shot someone, the slitting of their throat becomes a redundant threat, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of in that order. So, I mean, in that example, obviously, it didn't feel very safe.
Mm.
Other than that, felt really safe. And then, I mean, we must add that we have been in Makati City, which is kind of the more commercial, upmarket, one of the wealthier areas. So we can't speak to the whole of Manila, really. But
Quite
yeah,
posh, isn't it?
I mean, if you do think that Manila is one of those places you don't want to go because you've heard horror stories, just give it a go.
You are one to attract attention from the Filipino people. I've noticed it.
Really?
Yeah, I've noticed it by the stories you've told me, basically.
Okay.
So you've had a few suitors, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, it's ironically, the story I'm about to tell is probably when I've felt most unsafe.
Yeah. Well, I want to hear about it again. I've already heard this story once, but I am not the tripological audience. I'm just one of the hosts.
Yeah, I mean, unsafe, of course, that is a little bit of a joke. I was totally in control of the situation. But this was way back when, 3 days ago. And even though the listener might think that when we're together, we do everything together, we do spend a lot of time together. But sometimes we like to do things separately,
Yeah, and this is one of the things that we always do separately as well.
which is...
Get changed. You were getting changed, weren't you?
Yeah, it was on the day that we were checking out of this apartment with the incredibly slow elevator.
Mm.
And you were upstairs doing your thing. You were getting your bag ready and all that sort of stuff. I thought, I'll take the opportunity.
I was actually getting changed upstairs.
Oh, right.
We do it at opposite ends of the building.
Yeah, just to make sure neither of us looks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was down having a swim in the complex. You know, there's obviously a communal swimming pool. And then I went to have a shower in the changing rooms. Now, I'll be completely honest. The guy listening, the guy that this involves may well be listening to this. I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
So I've got to tread a little bit carefully, but I'm going to tell
That's the only thing you do.
I'm going to tell the story exactly as it happened, and I've got the photos to prove it. As you take a sip of your coconut water.
Yeah.
I had noticed that when I went into the shower cubicle, there was a man on the left-hand side in a different cubicle, completely naked, but with the door open. And I thought, that's fine. I feel comfortable with that. You know,
Nice, if anything. We're all boys together.
yeah, it made me feel relaxed. So I put my I put my stuff down. I thought, oh, South Korea. No, I put my stuff down, had a shower, came out, and there I was drying myself, flossing with the towel as you do, and then he was kind of looking in the mirror, cleaning his ears with a cotton bud. You
Nice.
can't make that up.
Now, I've noticed that you are a user of the cotton bud
Yeah.
because I've seen them in the bathroom.
Mm.
I personally think they're bad for the environment.
Maybe they are. But I also don't use them in their traditional fashion. I do use it to sort of clean my nose piercing. I don't know if I've mentioned that on an episode before, but I got my nose pierced.
Is that the only reason you use cotton buds is to keep your piercings clean?
No, every now and again I'll do the ears, for sure.
You've always done that. Would you always travel with cotton buds even prior to the piercing situation?
No, not really, because I think I've been told that they are very bad for your ears,
They're
not
not
just the
great,
environment. Yeah, don't they kind of push the whatever is in
You're
there?
not very careful. You'll end up pushing some wax deeper.
Yeah, I mean, I'm no expert, but I just want clean ears. What
Okay.
can we do in that situation
But
on the
this
road?
guy didn't know that. He was there. He was jamming wax deep into his ear holes.
Well, I'm not going to give him a bloody lecture in the changing rooms, am I? Well, I'm Starkers and go, oh, I've noticed that you're cleaning your ears. I'm not sure you care about the environment.
That's one of the key differences between us. I'd have gone up and said, "Sir, have you thought about the health of your cochlea?"
So anyway, we sort of caught each other's eye in the mirror that was in front of us.
Yeah.
He looked at me and said, "Oh, what are you doing here?" I said, "Oh, I'm visiting my friend, whatever." He said, "Oh, okay. Well, I work for a talent agency. I've got kind of contacts in modelling,
Yeah.
and I think you've got a really nice body." And that's a great compliment.
Nice to hear.
But when you're absolutely Starkers and he's not, and sort of looking you up and down in an appreciative way, I was caught off guard a little bit because there was no preamble up to that. It was just straight in. I felt quite comfortable. He said, "Look, I don't know how long you're going to be in Manila for, but I would really,
But I'm free tonight.
but I would really like to take your details and maybe put you forward to do some modelling in entertainment. Is that something you'll be interested in?" And I was thinking about the podcast in general. I
Were
thought
you?
the Philippines, it's not a market we've tapped into.
Right.
It could be one that we, is quite prosperous for us. There's a lot of backpackers, obviously, in the Philippines.
Yeah.
If I can do or we can do some modelling, I hope you don't mind, but I showed him pictures of you as well.
Yeah. Okay. What did you think?
Not the ones in my recently deleted album. What else is he going to say other than, oh, he's very handsome as well?
I was gone. Oh, have you got any of him with his top half? No, his body ain't as good.
But yeah, he then got his phone out, and just pointed it in my direction when I still had my towel in my hand.
Yeah.
And I mean that is just in terms of etiquette and ethics.
I would say it's unprofessional at best. And at worst, Adam, it's a predatory man hitting you up for nudes in a shower cubicle.
Yeah, I mean, he said, "Do you mind if I take a few photos of you?" I said, "No, but as long as it's sort of
Yeah.
from the shoulders up.
I
Once
would-
I've got my towel around me."
The right answer to that question was yes. I
Yeah.
do mind a bit on account of the fact that I have a public-facing podcast and I'm naked and you've got a camera.
And you could extort me for money.
Yeah.
So no, I put the towel around me. It was all in good spirits. Absolutely, I felt totally comfortable. And then he said, "Have you got a partner?" I said, "Well, yeah. What do you mean?" He was like, "No, I'm just I'm gay as well." And and
What
even
does he mean?
and he said, even though I'm 60, I still sex well." And I was like, I don't know where this is going.
So what happened is, like, this is basically just a situation. I mean, it's what we all thought. It's you being hit on by a gay man. It's not anything to do with modelling at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hell of an elaborate story. It could well be true, and I'm still waiting for that text message.
Has he not even texted you back?
Well, I didn't text him first.
You've been texting him every day since. Hey, only going to be in Manila for a few more days. Any modelling work? Question mark.
If you want me to send more photos, I can do that. Just let me know if you want my height.
Sorry for putting the towel back on. It was a mistake. I should have just let you do what you want.
Yeah, he did ask my height, and he got a little sort of video and a few headshots and all that sort of stuff. It was a really strange
Were you
experience.
honest about the height?
About the height?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I said, on a good day.
When I wake up, I'm 5'11".
Who's asking? No, so yeah, 5'11" for all those people who don't know.
Okay, well, what's the cautionary tale? Because I think you were a little naive in this situation, in this context. Because
Well,
if it was me,
yeah,
you know what my reaction would have been, don't you?
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
You would have said, "Go bananas."
Yeah, good bananas, man. No, you know that I would have just been like, sorry, I'm leaving the changing room. Because I'm unfriendly to people who aren't trying to take pictures of me in the nude, usually.
Well, yeah, I mean, we do. Yeah, yeah. Funny you should mention that, because that's where I was kind of going. At which point in this story do you think you would have shut it down?
Immediately.
What
As
from
soon as I saw a
the
camera,
cotton bud come out?
yeah, yeah, I'd have been like, "Think about your cochlear health," and I'd have left in disgust. No, no, I think as soon as he came up to me and started talking about modeling, I'd have been like, "Oh, sir, I'm not interested."
Really?
Yeah. But you've seen me. I'm sometimes standoffish. Well, I mean, we met someone in the Banaue rice fields,
Mm.
a lovely guy who's now hanging out with us a little bit. I didn't speak to him for the first hour he was in our company. I just let you two talk until I got the general vibe. I'm quite unapproachable.
Yeah, I mean, this is a funny thing that's just sprung to my mind in real time. When you have those yearbooks, I wonder if I've mentioned that on the podcast before, but in when you're 16, 15, 16, when you leave school,
Yeah.
secondary school, you have yearbooks,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's just loads of photos of each class and all that kind of stuff. And usually there's a fun section where it's like most likely to be an actor,
Yeah.
most li-
Superlatives, they're called.
yeah, yeah, most likely to be. I mean, what would be another example? Most likely to be rich,
Yeah.
whatever.
Most likely to marry a supermodel, that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. So I won the category. I was awarded the category by like the 8 girls who made this book.
Well, they were given charge of that.
Yeah, there were around 8 girls in my last year of secondary school who were given the task of producing the yearbook for the entire year. And of course, they got probably other people involved, teachers and all that sort of stuff. There's already an existing format that they have to fit within. But I won the category of most likely to make it as a model.
Okay. Do you think when they assigned you that, they anticipated that that would come by way of a predatory Filipino man, or did they think it was going to be more traditional?
Well, I think more to the point is that maybe that is buried somewhere in my head. And now
Oh,
any opportunity I get, I think this is me living my dream. This is what everyone thought I was going to be when I was older. And now this is my opportunity, my big opportunity at the age of 35 in a changing room in some fucking apartment block
okay.
in
So when
Manila.
that guy comes up to you, in everyone else's mind is like, "Oh, hold on, this doesn't feel quite right. What's this?" You're going, "Finally, now's the time."
The universe has served me up an opportunity and I'm going to grab it with both hands.
Okay, only 15 years too late, but I'm still ready. Yeah,
Uh,
okay, fair enough.
you never know. You never know, do you? So, yeah, with those types of things, I think it's important. What's the takeaway? It's maybe manage the situations on a case by case basis. If it feels fairly innocent and you can have a bit of a laugh and then tell it on your podcast a couple of days later,
I
what?
do think you're too friendly sometimes because more to that point, I mean, we took a night bus to Banaue or Banaue?
Banaue?
Banaue. It's called Banaue. It's
Yeah.
got some rice fields there. It's a very interesting place. We took a night bus. When we boarded the bus,
Hmm.
I mean, immediately within seconds, you were turned around, you were talking to the people behind us, all
Yeah,
that
yeah.
stuff. I give off a different vibe. I'm like taking my contact lenses out, the glasses are on, I'm wrapping myself in Pashanka, my cursed Bedouin robe,
Yeah.
and I'm sort of going to sleep straight away. I feel like you create a social environment on the bus, and it's led to, I mean, complications in terms of our Airbnb
Yeah.
because now we've got friends that are staying with us. So
Well, yeah, I don't know what that is. I know that I've now been touted as the more sociable one of the two.
yeah.
When conversation gets going, I mean, I kind of sit out of the discussions that we're having now with our good friend.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Well, I'm more extroverted but less social. What that means is in the context of travel, I think I have a threshold
yeah,
that once you pierce through the membrane and I decide that you're okay,
right.
then I'm extroverted and it's like, oh, we're friends. But getting beyond that threshold with me is sometimes difficult. And I think it's an interesting point because I think I do that to protect myself because I've been traveling for so long, meeting so many different people. I mean, we've traveled for similar amounts of time, but you've definitely had more roots and been more bedded than me. I've definitely been flitting from hostel to hostel, engaging all these new temporary relationships with more frequency.
Yeah.
So I think having that protective mechanism of like, I'm not going to let everyone in immediately probably serves me well in that environment.
It's also about efficiency, isn't it, and conserving energy.
Yeah.
I would quite happily spend the entire bus journey chatting to someone about, whatever.
Mm. Whereas I
Uh,
can't think of anything worse.
but you got things to think about. You got stresses and things on a night bus that maybe I don't have. Like I know I'm going to be awake for the entirety of the journey.
Right.
That's
Whereas
true.
I'm trying to sleep.
Yeah, and I think we've probably got a good dynamic between us on a night bus now, where I'm more than happy to give you the window, mate. I'm more than happy to give you the window
Okay.
because I know you're just going to pop your head up against it. And
Yeah. Well, on the way there, you popped your head on my shoulder, didn't you?
was that annoying?
No. What I liked was the fact that you slowly did it without much weight, and I could almost feel that your eyes were like completely open. You were like, "Is he going to say anything? Is he going to say anything?" And then you like stuck your ear to my shoulder and like paused there for a second. And he's allowed it. He's allowed it. And then you like let yourself kind of relax.
Yeah, no, it's difficult to talk to you telepathically in that situation because I would have been totally comfortable with you just popping your shoulder up and saying, "Go on, fuck off."
Yeah, like for fans of martial arts out there, like Conor McGregor did against Cowboy Cerrone in his comeback fight, where he sort of just like leapt up with one shoulder and sort of like shrugged him off out of the clinch.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
imagine that would be the method to get you dislodged in that. If I just done a kind of half shoulder shrug.
Yeah, I mean, another thing that was going on the bus, which I really wanted to get involved with, but I was very conscious of how it would impact me and you and our
Mm.
trip, was there was some French popping off behind us, wasn't there, on the
I
seat
couldn't
behind?
believe you would get involved in French language conversation.
Because it wasn't just two French people having a conversation. It was the guy that we're now travelling with,
Yeah.
who speaks very high level French, having a conversation with a French person, and I was like eavesdropping.
I could see you bristling like, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I also speak French. The French triumvirate can form." But you kind of like, you didn't want to, I guess, because I was there as an anglophonic sort of wedge in your French trapdoor.
Yeah, well, I guess that's where, because we've been such close friends for such a long time,
Yeah.
we're already a few steps ahead of each other.
Yeah.
So I knew that I knew that you would know that I wanted to engage in
Yeah.
conversation. So therefore thought, I'm not going to give him the pleasure of getting that,
Right, of getting that
of
right.
getting that right.
You knew that I knew that you knew you were going to speak French.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
therefore, no, you don't give me that point.
Yeah, I mean, we've even met a couple of French people along the way with this guy who speaks French and has spoken French to them since, and I still haven't really engaged. So it's kind
Well,
of I don't know what that says about me.
I'm proud of you for playing the triple mind game, Brandon. We really should talk about those batad rice fields in Banaue. So we'll do that after a brief meditation break.
I hate arriving at an airport and needing to prove I have an onward ticket before boarding the plane.
Oh, it's the worst. I don't know when I'm going to leave the country. Okay, I'm a traveller.
That's why instead of buying a flight, we use a flight rental service.
Yeah, it's so convenient. You just find a flight, rent it for 48 hours, show it to the assistant, they let you on the plane.
Onwardticket.com, they're a great company. Click the link in the description. Support the podcast.
Like a piece of rice being cultivated in one of the most ancient, most beautiful rice paddy fields in the old damn world, allow your conscious mind to return into your brain. Adam and I, we've arrived in Banaue, and we're going to go to the Batad rice fields. Aforementionedly ancient, they're over 2,000 years old, they're incredibly beautiful. We made our way there. What did you think of them?
I thought they were absolutely astonishing. I mean, rice fields, rice terraces are in the tiny fraction of things that humans have done to land.
Yeah.
The way that we've worked landscapes that I think actually aesthetically make them more beautiful.
Yes, I think that there's something funny about traveling for as long time as we have. Like,
Mm.
it's neither of our first time seeing rice terraces before.
Oh God, no.
So it goes, maybe it's the fifth or sixth time I've seen a rice terrace. But this French guy who's behind us on the bus, he wanted to come along with us. So he said, "Yeah, of course, man, don't worry." He's just an 18-year-old lad with his whole life ahead of him. He said, "I just want to get up close and personal with some rice."
You just referred to him as a French man. He's English, but he speaks French.
Oh, yeah. Well, exactly. Yeah, one of those French people.
Ironically, he has the same name as the previous French person you mentioned on the podcast. So that could be
Yeah.
where you're getting confused. But he did. He wanted to get up close and personal to some rice.
He
which
said, "I just want to see some rice in the flesh." And I said, "Well, we can make that happen for you." And
I've got some news for you, mate. There's no flesh. There's not much flesh.
made me excited about the rice because I felt like I was traveling through his young francophilic eyes. You know, I got to see the rice in a whole new vibe.
But what was quite interesting, I don't know if this speaks to him as well. It probably does. But I didn't feel almost any older than him. And he's 18 years old and he's traveling with us. It's just the three of us.
Mm.
I'm obviously the oldest of the bunch.
Yeah.
And we're walking around these rice fields spending, you know what it's like when you go hiking or whatever. You have conversations for hours and you learn a lot about a person, even just one afternoon.
Yeah.
But I really felt like,
He was one of us.
I mean, I'm twice his age.
Mature, the French, though, aren't they? What I will say about the rice fields, I mean, 2,000 years old. In 2009, they declared that there was no GM organisms anywhere on the terraces,
Mhm.
completely GM free.
Okay.
And that means you get some of the purest,
Mm.
most delicious rice anywhere in the world. It's just eaten locally,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
serves the community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Started by tribal people thousands of years ago. Very, very picturesque. It's on the back of the 20 peso note, innit?
Is it?
I think so.
I only deal with 500s, mate. I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
So
we hit the big time.
some waterfalls there that were very beautiful. The walk itself,
Hmm.
I've done some fucking hiking in my time. You know, I've been to the Himalayas, all that stuff. But the combination of the steepness of the steps
Hmm.
and the sharpness of the soleil,
Yeah.
the sun, for all our French listeners, those two things combined, I mean, were dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah, they were, in terms of the rice terraces themselves, I think they're hailed as one of the most beautiful set of rice terraces you can find on Earth. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site as
Mm.
well. Absolutely astonishing, ridiculously steep.
So, so steep and so, so hot. You said almost immediately, you were like, I think heat stroke's a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how much water we drink today. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter how little we spend in direct sunlight. I'm quite sure that after, because we're going to do the hike. I mean, you kind of arrive at the village. It's only accessible by foot.
Yeah.
We made, I'm going to say, a mistake. We made a mistake by having something to eat. It wasn't the fact that we had something to eat before we did the hike. It was the fact that we chose a restaurant that then took about an hour to prepare the food.
Well, I had some chicken and she literally went about like finding a chicken, murdering it, plucking it,
Yeah.
all that stuff on site.
Yeah,
So
it might have been all the rice that you can see is consumed locally. However, the chicken,
I probably
that's in
wouldn't have chosen the chicken if I'd known that it was going to be that chicken right there.
yeah, and you know what that does to the rest of the day means that instead of starting the hike at say 9 or 10 a.m., you start the hike at 11:30,
Middle
and
of
then
the day.
it's the middle of the day, sun's at its highest point, and we're walking around for a few hours at least to the waterfall, which was extraordinary. Strange thing about the waterfall, first time in my travel history, no one near it.
Yeah, but because I told you this at the time, the Engkantos, those are the Filipino spirits, tabi tabi po, makiki rampo, that's what you got to say to keep them at bay.
There you go.
Adam paid no dividends to the Engkantos, I thought, because they clearly, you know that they guard the waterfall. You know that you can't get too close. You stepped out into the waterfall as closer than anyone else.
I wanted a full-on swim.
And I think that's what unstuck you later on. And we'll talk about that in a little bit because you did get a heat stroke.
Ah, you think it was the Encantos?
I'd be very, very surprised if it wasn't the Engkantos, yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's very unusual to see a waterfall, and I love going close to waterfalls because you feel the power, can't you, of the water?
Oh, yeah.
And the wind, it sort of blows you back. It's it's a surreal experience. I really love it. So I was prepared to swim close enough to feel that,
Mm.
but absolutely no one else was going anywhere near it. Everyone was just enjoying it from a distance.
But for a wall of Filipino spirits keeping them away, yeah. You know that the heat was a bad thing because I asked someone, a stranger, for sunscreen.
Yeah, which is
Typically your role in our group.
yeah, and important to add, you're normally the one who's very good at putting on sunscreen,
Yeah.
and not the one who talks.
Yeah.
So not only were you already wearing sunscreen, you still approached a complete stranger and asked them for more sun cream, which you did for the group, and I'm very grateful of, but it didn't save me from a little cheeky heat stroke.
Yeah, so once we finished our sojourn around the rice terrace, you were like, we're definitely getting sunstroke. We took a motorbike back.
Yeah.
And we were zipping all the way back to Banaue
Yeah.
from Batad. So it's sort of like a 40-minute cycle ride.
Yeah. So, I mean, we were in a tuk-tuk. The guy's driving, it's essentially a motorbike with a sidecar.
Yeah,
Really.
and me and the French guy were in the sidecar, and you were on the motorbike itself. He goes over a grate at one point. You go flying off, sort of manage to save yourself and run alongside the bike. I think that was the work of an Engkantos. Then
What, you mean it was like an Encanto saying, we're going to just make him check himself here. We're going to scare him enough that he realises he's done something wrong.
Yeah.
But not to the point where he rolls his ankle and it ruins his whole trip.
absolutely. Well, I think they're doing what they can with the powers they've got. And I think that one thing an Engkantos want to do is throw you off a bike.
Yeah, it was like a cattle grid. Luckily, we were going uphill, but we're still on a motorbike, right?
Yeah.
And just the way that the bike sort of popped in and out of the grill made me go airborne because I wasn't holding on. What I was actually trying to do with my hands was use my scarf to cover my face because I was inhaling all of the fumes.
There was a lot of fumes kicking out the back of that bike.
Some say it's a motorbike, some say it's a normal engine. Other
Yeah.
people will say it's Encantos.
The French guy was going into he was like a turtle retreating into his t-shirt.
And I kind of popped off. I got airborne. I was, what would you say? Nothing more than about 5 seconds in the air.
Yeah, it's probably
Just
about 5 seconds of hang time,
yeah,
followed
yeah.
by a Looney Tunes style run.
Yeah, kind of did a skateboard, some sort of maneuver in the air, and then carried on running almost like a cartoon
Yeah,
next to the bike.
you actually overtook the bike.
And then jumped back on, and you, bless you, kind of pop your head out the sidecar and went, "Mate, you all right?" I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm fine. I didn't fall over or anything, but I am, I should have been holding on."
And then in Encanto strike number 2, we got back to Banaue,
Yeah.
and you went, my head hurts and I'm going to bed."
Yeah, it was really early for me. I mean, I don't like to admit that I suffer from that sort of stuff, but as we heard on the Patundas episode when we were in Pakistan, got a bit of altitude sickness, and here got some heat stroke. I don't get it that often, but I was also, hang on, can we just preface this by saying I was wearing a sweater. I was wearing a thick black sweater for the
Mm,
entirety of the time we were hiking out because I had chosen to not get sunburnt, but contract some form of heat stroke or whatever.
okay.
So it's a strange decision, but I think on balance, I would rather have the heat stroke and not get sunburn than have sunburn and not get heat stroke.
Now, I didn't have the symptoms of heat stroke.
Right.
Do you think that's because I was recently in Brazil for Carnival and have acclimatized to the heat stroke, or do you think it's because I showed some fucking respect to the Encantos?
By not going near the waterfall.
By saying tabi tabi po makiki rampo, by not going close to the waterfall, by being a general guy on the vibe, showing respect to nature while we're here in the Philippines. Is it column A or column B, would you say?
It's difficult because you did say that little phrase quite early on in the hike.
I repeated it under my breath several times as well, every time I felt an Encantos get near.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a difficult one. I think it's probably just the fact that maybe I'm more susceptible to heat stroke than you are. Could that be something that's
It's easy to think that, it's easy to say that if you want to, but again, I think you taking that line is a little bit disrespectful to the Encantos, so it's a self-perpetuating problem, isn't it?
I mean, the heat stroke itself was crippling because I wanted to just spend a good evening. I mean, we'd actually like allocated some time in the evening to play a bit of pool, maybe even have a beer.
Yeah.
I haven't had a drop of alcohol since I've been in the Philippines with you. It's been over a week, guys.
Me, of course, in recovery, no alcohol at all. Has that been a positive impact on your life, do you think, or has it been a net negative?
I want to be completely honest with you and the listening audience.
Yeah, always.
I don't feel any better than I would do if I'd had a drink.
Really?
I don't think that. Yeah, I mean, I do think that. I think I would be. You would think, oh, a week off alcohol. I was drinking. I wouldn't say heavily in New Zealand, but I
Mm.
like a drink, and I work in the wine industry. So, of course, I'm going to be drinking fairly regularly. But
You don't feel any better?
I,
Now, is that evidence that actually the alcohol wasn't causing much harm to your body, or is it that an Encantos is sapping your energy at present as we speak, and actually you would feel fucking incredible, like, I'm free from alcohol, but the Encantos is draining your sort of energy out from under you?
well, I don't know how much control they have because it's.
A lot.
I don't want I don't want to rationalise how I'm feeling, but we are also getting night buses and having shit sleep.
Yeah.
And
Are they night buses? Or has an Encanto stolen the sun?
yeah, I don't know. I mean, the fate that I succumb to, I guess, is far less than what it used to be back in the 40s.
Mm.
Because an interesting tidbit I read on the internet last night on the night bus that I wasn't asleep on
Yeah.
because of the Encantos, because of my behaviour
Yeah.
in the
Because every
waterfall.
time I fall asleep, an Encanto slapped you upside the head. Oh, fucking hell.
You disrespectful prick.
Tabby tabby po, makiki rampo. I was fast asleep.
Yeah, there was basically in World War II,
Mm.
there was a Japanese general that went to the area in search for gold. I think his name's General Yamashita, but I'm now drawing from the,
Yeah, I think it's something in the ballpark of General Yamashita.
yeah, Yamashita. And he was searching for gold in the area.
Yeah.
And back then, there was a group of headhunters, the original tribespeople that sort of
Started the rice fields.
Yeah, descendants of. They just killed him because they were headhunters. So maybe I should feel grateful that
Encantos.
the fate I suffered was only heat stroke.
Yeah.
And thank goodness they're not parading my head around on a stick, saying, "Look at this guy who wanted to get close to a waterfall."
I think that's something we can all be thankful for as we embark on the next leg of our Filipino adventure, which is going to take place primarily in Manila, the aforementioned Bethlehem of the resurgence, the rebirth of this tripological event. Guys, we've got big, big things coming. If you've made it to this part of the episode, I mean, you at least like the show a little bit. So thank you for sticking around. We love you very much. In a few weeks' time, namely the first weekend of July, some things are going to happen with Tripology. It's going to still be the same amazing show, but we've got this new aim to be the biggest best travel podcast in the world by the end of 2025. And to do that, we're going to reshuffle things around a little bit. We're going to have some new dynamic artwork. We're going to make some updates to the website, to the format of the show. There's going to be some brilliant things coming. But we wanted to find some way to sort of say thank you to the people who are fans of the show right now and the fans who have been with us since the start. Now, we have a Patreon section, and after the show, we do this thing called the Lost and Found section, where we go and talk about all random little events and stories. It comes out 24 hours early. It only costs $1 to have access to that Patreon show. That's patreon.com/Tripology podcast. A lot of the people who love this show and listen to this show see the t-shirts that unfortunately, we're not wearing one right now. Adam, go and get a t-shirt if you have one near you.
I am going to.
But we have a t-shirt that the fans of the show often ask us for. So it's our original logo design. Because we're doing a bit of a reshuffle of the branding and artwork, we don't want to be in a situation where people who love that old design and asked us, when can we get a t-shirt design? When can we get that t-shirt design? We always want to deliver. So just for our Patreon subscribers who are members of the Patreon before the first weekend of July, we're going to give you a coupon code to go and get that t-shirt from our website at cost. Just pay cost of the t-shirt and shipping. We'll be able to get that to you. We wish we could do more for you. Right now, that's all we can do just to make that t-shirt design available. So sign up to our Patreon before the first weekend of July. We'll send you a coupon code. You'll be the only people who can buy that t-shirt from our website. And then we'll go on to launch a full merchandising store in the near future for everyone else. So now there's no better time to join the Patreon. Like I say, $1 a month, and you get access to the Lost and Found section, get the show 24 hours early. There are huge things coming for this podcast in the very near future. So stay tuned, and thank you so much for listening.
Yeah, we really appreciate the support. It's been an amazing 2.5 years. Lots of great things are going to stay the same. Lots of exciting things are going to happen. We do get asked about this merch very regularly, and I can't wait for, hopefully, for people to be representing the show.
Yeah, we're just going to produce that as easily as possible for you, and as with minimal cost to you. We're not going to make any money from it. That's just so we can make that t-shirt available in limited run just for the Patreon subscribers. A little bit of admin at the end there. There'll be more information on the reformatting of the show in the next couple of weeks, but it will happen in July. We cannot wait, and we'll see you all next week.
We'll see you there.
Bye.